Hey, friend, I hope you have been building wins all week like I have, loving it, living it, and owning it. And now we're going to build wins together with a great friend of mine from the industry in the past and now into some other parts of the world. And we're going to talk to a great guy you're going to love, my friend, my pal, my buddy, Brian Vella is going to be up in like about 7 seconds. So do not go away. Boom, there we are, buddy.
Hey, Randy, how are you?
I'm good. Yourself?
Living the dream, man. No
We
complaints
are
over
living it.
here.
It's great to live the dream, is it not?
Absolutely, man. As I told you before, I've woken up in a lot of bad countries around the world. This is a great one to wake up in every day.
Exactly. Well, what a seguer is it? Do you write a segue too, or is that just you just good at segues? Because that's a great place to start. Because I want to touch on leadership. I want to touch on what you do at your business and getting through the COVID world and how you got started and you didn't let things get in your way. But first, as I mentioned yesterday, we was chatting. I'm a big supporter of vets, and you're a vet. Thank you very much. Give us a little history. Give us a little history that you want to talk about.
Yeah, I signed up in like a lot of guys in my generation. 9/11 had a profound impact on me specifically, and I saw our country come under attack and knew I had to serve. So as I got out of high school, I made the decision to join the Marine Corps. Signed up to be a machine gunner in the Marine Corps. I did 6 years of service. I deployed over to Iraq with the 1st Battalion, 24th Marines. During our deployment, we saw a lot of combat, a lot of action. I had 22 guys from my unit killed in action over there, and it was a profound impact on my life, and it kind of put me in the direction I'm going today to how to live every day like it's the last, and to push as hard as you can day in and day out to make sure that you're doing it for the people that couldn't.
Wow. Yeah. Well, number one, and I know I can speak for everybody in my audience. Thank you for your service. I mean, that's huge stuff, and we appreciate it.
Yeah. I got a chance to serve with a bunch of heroes, and every single day I go out there, we talk about it when we were in the Marine Corps, and I carry it on to the day-to-day world. Is that you never know when it's going to be your last one, so make the most out of every single day you have, and it's been something that's been my ethos for sure.
That's awesome. So you got out of the Marine Corps, and did you go? Because as I mentioned, we were from the same industry originally, the metal roofing world, the metal steel supply world, whatever you want to call it. Did you tell us about how that all got started and when you got into that industry? And then we want to jump into what you're doing now, because I love the concept of how you switched industries completely.
I did. Yeah, I did. I was born and raised in the steel industry. My father, 30 plus years, my mom's still in the steel industry. My brothers are in the steel industry. Like, that's all we knew growing up. So I started out in Toledo, Ohio, and, running forklifts, doing packaging lines after school. It was a true family business that we were involved in. And then I got an opportunity to, as I got done with undergrad and I got to grad school, I was wanting to do something. And I had an opportunity to go work for a company named Mill Steel. And they gave me a great opportunity to go down to Louisville, Kentucky. And I ran their operations down there for about 2 or 3 years. And they said, hey, we got this sales team, this building products group. Would you be interested in, being a part of it? And I said, I've never sold anything in my life. They said, oh, you'll do just fine. I had some great mentors over there at Mill, and they gave me the opportunity to lead a sales team. And that's when I met you at our friends down there in Ohio. And it changed my course of my career, switching into a sales role rather than being in the operations role.
Yeah. So which do you like better? That's putting you on the spot, I suppose. But do you like the ops? Do you like the sales? And it's probably, before I go there, I'm a two-pronged question. The ops had to help you in the world of sales, right? It had to be
Absolutely.
a huge help.
Absolutely. Randy, I'll tell you, there was some value that you could bring to your customers when you could talk to them about how a slitter operated, how steel was made, how steel would respond in a pickle line, all the different things that you could actually bring. You could bring some good value to your customers when you're going and you're making that sales call. It's not just to go in there and say, hey, I'm here. Hi, I'm doing my check. It's like, hey, how can I bring you value? What can I do more for you? Hey, if you order the steel at this size, we could save you a 1/4 inch of trim. And you put that over the course of the year, we're going to save you some significant money. We're adding value to that customer and to that experience. And having that operational experience, knowing what I could and couldn't get away with, was a huge help for me to go in and help problem solve, and help bring value to those meetings.
Yeah, that's a great point because, as I think you know, but I don't. I talk about it occasionally. I was in sales, then I was in purchasing for a lumber chain and bought a lot of the products in the industry I'm still in. But boy, being on the other side of the desk for a while, it brings, in my world, being in purchasing, I know what purchasing agents, buyers, whether it's just the owner of the company or a true purchasing agent, a larger company, I understand what they look for, what they need, what they want, right? And
Yep.
it's a huge value to spend some time in the other side, if you will, whatever side that is.
Absolutely. I think it's great. I think if there's ever opportunity for salespeople in general to really, when you're out there, you're an ambassador for your company, and you got to believe in what you're selling. You got to believe in who you are, because customers will sniff that out pretty quick if you're not truly vested in what you're offering them. And my advice is always get out there and understand what it is that you're selling. I feel like I could sell anything, but I really want to understand what I'm selling. I want to understand that when I tell that customer that, I'm putting my reputation on the line, because they're buying from me and I'm just a conduit to the company.
Right. Well, and what you just hit on, I think, is pretty interesting too, because when you do that, what you just talked about, you're being a true consultative sales guy, you're being a relationship guy, and you're really trying to build a win with the customer, not just say, like you kind of alluded to earlier, hey, I'm Ryan, I'm Randy, or I'm Brian, I'm Randy, and I got a box of screws, or I got some coil to sell you. Do you want any
Right.
today? Right.
Right.
That anybody literally can do that, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, but bringing that value to it is something that we'd always preach, and we continue to preach here, is like, how are you going to make an impact on that customer experience? Not every single time is it going to be a home run, but when you leave, how are they going to think about you a little bit more? What did you do a little bit differently? What offer could you bring them? There's always improvements going on the operational side. At least in the operations that I've been a part of, you're always looking for to gain that efficiency, do a little bit more, think outside the box. And if you can bring that to your customers, sometimes that might help them out on their shop floor. And maybe they, I haven't thought about that. Now you got a consultant that you can work back and forth and share information. Is very helpful.
Exactly. So you spent how many years at Mill Steel? I forget.
5 years.
5 years. Okay. And you obviously were very successful with them, well thought of in the industry, and still well thought of. So
thank you.
Yeah,
exactly. I had a great experience there, Randy. It was a lot of fun. They treat me well. They treated me well. They did a lot of great things, but it was, I was wanting to do my own thing, and I started looking a little bit, and I came across a business that had been around for a long time, and I wanted to go do my own, and it gave me an opportunity to do that. And Mill Steel, having the operational experience, the sales experience, some of those, it gave me the confidence to go risk it all, roll the dice, and lay it on the line.
Yeah, I love that. You stepped out of that comfort zone, right? And that's that's kind of something that's talked about a lot in the world of motivation and inspiration. Everybody that's any kind of a sales leader, motivator, inspiring type speaker always talks about getting out of the comfort zone, right? But you really have to get out of the comfort zone, or you're. I'm not saying you can't be successful what you're doing, but boy, if you don't take that step sometimes and just, as I like to say, climb up to the 83rd floor and jump off and learn to fly on the way down, there's a point where you just got to do that, right?
Absolutely. And it doesn't matter where you're at in your career, personal or professional. My daughters, 11 and 9, I tell them that you grow when you're uncomfortable. Get in those uncomfortable situations, and that's when you're going to grow as an individual, and you're going to grow professionally. And that is something that I've always strived for and always push, is that when I'm starting to get comfortable, I'm doing something wrong. I got to shake it up a little bit.
Right. I love that. That's awesome stuff. So with that, it's like I said, you went from the steel industry, which is an industry that I know well, been lived in and breathed in and sleep in my whole life, basically. But you made it a massive change. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing now.
Yeah, so I went from, I say it a lot, I went from steel to stickers, so I bought a company. It was a promotional marketing company. I've got a great group here. And I said, it's been around for 19 years, and we do vehicle wraps, we do apparel, we screen print apparel, embroidery apparel. We do all sorts of tumblers that you can see behind me, any promotional piece. If you got a logo, we can do it, and we can put it on something. And, I was comfortable in the spot for me to go buy something like this and do something like this and lay it all on the line, because I saw a great team and I saw a great company. And I just thought that maybe bringing a different level of energy and flair to it might allow us to go to that next level. as you can see, that's scrolling through right now, the vehicle graphics, the wall graphics, the signs there, trade show displays. We do a little bit of everything. And I thought that that was a great business world for myself to get into, just because I had some contacts from multiple different industries,
Mm-hmm.
and that's customer base, Randy, that you and I know, and they buy this stuff too. So it was
Right.
something that allowed me to still call on a lot of the same customer base, just with a different widget.
And I think I think it's exciting. It had to be exciting to make that drastic leap, because sometimes, you know, being a rep agency, I kind of stay within the industry, but I get the most geeked when there's this new product, whether it's a new
Yep.
manufacturer I decide to take on that still fits within my industry, or a new product within one of my manufacturers I represent. That is geek time, right? Because there's something new to learn, and yet it's not as far out of the comfort zone as you went with this, but all of a sudden, I don't know anything about this new product. And now I've got to learn, and I've got to learn quick, and I've got to go out and experiment and find out what works and don't work. And again, it's that comfort level thing, and that's what gets you fired up, man. If you're built a certain way, I suppose some people don't like that, but I think, as you mentioned, you're very self-limiting if you don't take that risk and roll that dice occasionally, right?
Absolutely. And, I think that there's two sides to it. My wife's my good balancer,
Mm.
because I'm always about let's push, push, push and take that next opportunity. And for me to tell her that, hey, there's this opportunity, let's empty our life savings, let's empty our 401k, let's put it all on the line, and let's go take a big loan from the bank. She wasn't as excited about it as I was, because I
I'm
saw
sure.
opportunity. I've always been confident and comfortable saying that, if you build a team and you do things the right way, sales will come, and I was comfortable and confident in that. And that was something that I brought here. It was a great organization doing a lot of great things, but just looking for a new breath of energy. And coming in here, I was like, well, let's work together as a team. Let's see what systems we can implement, maybe equipment we could buy, opportunities of efficiencies to grow. And it was very fun. It was fun to flip it on its head. And I didn't know anything about it. When they said, hey, like, I quoted this, the first few jobs, I was given some real good deals, Randy, because I didn't know what the heck I was selling.
Yeah.
Come full
Yeah.
circle, I still look back on and laugh with those customers and said, man, you got a real good window graphic. I didn't know what I was really selling you.
That's awesome. So, well, so let's. I would love to tie in a little bit with this. I'm just thinking about this. Um, your military experience, and how did that serve you in not only at Mill when you was there in your different roles there, but now in running your own business? There's got to be a tremendous amount, especially the discipline, the leadership. You talk maybe a minute or two or whatever you want on how did that correlate with each other?
That's great. I love that question. For me, stress isn't a word I use often, right? Because what we do day in and day out, it's not heart surgery. I'm not getting blown up. I'm not getting shot at. I'm not having how buddies get, to the corpsman, to where that's real stress that I saw in life. Not saying that folks don't have real stress. There's definitely issues that go on out there, but some of the things that I was put through in 7 months over in Fallujah, Iraq, really prepared me for anything this world could throw at me. To where when I take, a lot of people want to run to the fire, run to the noise. I learned to take a step back, exhale, assess what's going on, and come up with a good solid plan. And in that chaos and in that fray is when you can really make positive influence and positive changes and understand, like, in real clarity, and make some really great change and impact on people's lives. In that 6 years I did the Marine Corps, but specifically that 7 months set me up to take any adversity and know that it's always can be worse. Look around. We're pretty blessed people. We've got an opportunity to do whatever we want in this country. And it's just something that's a reminder for me that, hey, when I start to feel a little like that, it's starting to get a little bit much for me, put it in perspective. We can all work through this together. We're all going to go home tonight to our families.
Yeah. Wow. Good point. That's a great point. So the your tell us where you're located, your business is located, and I know we're streaming across the bottom where people can get a hold of you, but give us let's drill down a little bit more. You talked about some generic things that you do there. Tell us. I'd really like to know the first few days you walked in, what it felt like, what you did with your team. How did you get these guys to buy into Brian Vella, right? Because you're coming in from the outside, no idea about the industry, right? So there's got to be some guys that have been there for a while going, okay, we got a new owner. I got to be nice to him, but what does this guy know? I mean, how did you grab that confidence level quickly?
I put in the time. I put in a lot of time. I look back on what kind of energy I was doing. Where you're seeing there, we're located in Ann Arbor, Michigan, but we're servicing all over the country. When we got involved, or when I got involved and bought the place, 3.5, 4 years ago, it was kind of to the local area, and it was when I came into it. We were dealing with a lot of good customers, great team recognition, great service, great quality. But what I had to do is I looked back at how much time I was putting in. Randy, we were a third of the size, and I was working 20 hours a day, 6 days a week, trying to figure out as much as I could. And then now you fast forward, we've got a great team here. We've got great people in place. But we're doing 3 times as much, and sometimes I feel bored, so I got to push myself out of that comfort zone. I'm like, well, what's going on? But things are working really well. So what I learned with any team is that let me remove their hurdles. I think as managers, as leaders, our job isn't to do the job for them; it's to remove the hurdles to allow them to do the job as efficiently and as effectively as they can. If they hate, as simple as it may sound, a stapler, if the stapler isn't working, they got to pound it and empty it. That's frustration they're going to take home because it's just every single day. So I'd meet with the team individually and as a group, and I'd say, give me your list of complaints, as big or as small. Is the trash empty? Just let me know. Do you like the hand soap? Let me know what those things are. Let me address the things that I could address immediately to make their life a little bit easier while they were here for a majority of their day, their waking hours. They're here, working here. Let me make it as comfortable as possible. And then I learn along the way by sitting in these meetings and asking questions and being comfortable to look stupid. Just say, hey, I don't know this industry. I'm going to ask a question. You guys might laugh, but I need to understand it. And as I did that, and I made it comfortable for them to laugh a little bit at me, I gained their trust. And when they said, hey, Brian, I really don't like this soap, and I changed the soap, you gain their trust. And you just do that over and over and over again, and you start to build something. And, fast forward 3.5, 4 years, and we're still building, we're still fixing things. We're not perfect, but we're really trying.
That's awesome. So when you and I chatted yesterday, day before, whenever it was, I find it incredibly interesting. And I'm sure it was a tough for a while. You had barely bought the business, doing local Ann Arbor, Michigan. Go Blue, by the way.
Go Blue.
Are you a Blue? We got to decide because.
Oh yeah.
You're not that. Cool. Okay.
I was getting. Oh yeah.
I was looking at Wes. I was going to give him the get Brian out of here. We can't do.
Don't got to worry about that, brother.
Good deal. I thought that was the case, but you local business. You don't know what you're doing in it. I mean, it's new, and lots of money invested, all the stuff you talked about. And then the world imploded one day with COVID, right? And Absolutely. The world shuts down. That's got to be like, are you kidding me? Right? I mean, that had to be, talk about comfort zone. So let's walk through that. What happened? How did you feel? What did you do with your team? Give me how did Braun, because you obviously did well. So how did that all play out?
It wasn't, we took a minute to figure out who we were during that time. Overnight, I mean, Randy, it felt like within the first week of COVID really shutting things down. We do a lot of trade shows. Trade shows were shut down immediately. We did a lot of promo items, marketing spend. People weren't going to the office. They weren't giving out team shirts. Everything stopped. So much stopped. I mean, Randy, I was looking back on it the other day and I misspoke to you. I said that overnight we lost what felt like overnight 40% of our sales. We lost 60% of our sales over the course of a 4-week span. Wow. I had to make some tough changes. I had to make some changes with personnel and some things around here. But when we, sat back, okay, there's a lot of horrible things going on right now. Let's not add to it. Let's try to keep as many people employed. Let's try to keep this company afloat. As I told you, I'm all in. I mean, if this goes down, we lose everything that we have, that we've earned as a family. So we pivoted pretty quick. I looked at states that were still open. Or maybe had different requirements or standards that were going on. There were states that were still doing some things a little differently. And I started our team started quoting on signs in those states that we never done business in before. And we were still able to operate. We started winning these bids. And then we're like, well, we got to figure this out. Like, what are we going to do with these bids? What are we going to do? And we start figuring out. And now you step back and you look, and we've got it built our whole sign division, our exterior illuminated sign. We never did it before for 20 years. Now we're doing, like, you go to a strip mall, you go to a franchise, you got a sign on this front side of a building. It's lit up. We never did that. Well, now we do it, and we've got a sign in 36 different states. It's been a significantly quick growing arm for us. And we took a lot of our our capabilities from screen printing t-shirts and embroidering, and we started knocking out masks. We started getting masks out there. We were doing everything we could. We were, we do labels here. We were printing off labels and putting them on hand sanitizer bottles. I mean, we were doing everything we could to ensure that we were taking care of as much people as we could and try to provide as much help as we could out in what was going on. Our flatbed laser, which normally cuts out signage and letters, it started cutting out sneeze guards, and we started selling sneeze guards all over the place. So we pivoted extremely quick into the exterior sign world and into the PPE world. And those two things allowed us to really weather the storm. And then as markets started opening back up, trade shows started coming back on, we started to see those sales start coming back. Well, we still had built this arm of our company. And now you look back and, we've tripled our business in 3 years. We've got a great team here of 20 plus individuals with in-house design, the in-house fulfillment. We're a little Amazon shop, it feels like, over here with what we do day in and day out. And it really took us from what could have been a catastrophic, situation for the company. And it catapulted us into a new opportunity.
And I'm sure, knowing you as well as I've got to know you over the last several years and just listening to you talk, you probably went in to your team and said, guys and girls, here we are. And together, we got to fix this together. I'm just guessing, and tell me if I'm wrong, it wasn't Brian Vella is going to save the world here and tell you what to do. We're going to figure this thing out together because we have to, right?
Absolutely. Without a doubt. When we sit down as a group and we talk about what opportunities are out there, it was looking at it. It was a scary time for everyone, as you know. We didn't know what was going to happen. Right. There was layoffs and stock markets crashing and things were going on. Just trying to be a little level of confidence to the team was great. And we would have a lot of those conversations like, hey, what can we do as an organization to continue to add value to our customers that are still in that spot? We do a lot of retirement communities. They were still going. They were essential. We do a lot for, some military stuff. It was essential business. It was just trying to find where we could offer value and as much as we could do for our team. I mean, Randy, I went on I laid myself off. I had no salary. I was not doing anything just to be able to ensure that we could survive another day. And over the course of a few months, we started to see the wheels turning again. And the team started to get a little bit more excited about what we had going on. And instead of coming in with their shoulders down, they're coming a little bit with their shoulders back. It was a lot of fun to see the transition that we had. And we were able to do a lot of great things as a company together.
That's awesome. So now are you, as that whole part of that new part of the business, the safety products that you came up with, that's probably dying down some, obviously, with the current state of where we are. But are you still participating in that industry, whatever that industry is, or are you going to back out of that?
We've been, it's just been naturally, closing on us. But what you and I touched on the other day, which was great. I wanted to make sure that we touched. Sometimes you don't know what you're going to sell to open the door, but when the door is open, make the most of it, right? So some of these customers are going, oh, you do the sneeze guards? We need it for our counter. We need it for this. As you sell that, what else do you offer? And you as a sales rep, hey, I see that you've got your name badges here. I see you got your shirts there. You got a hat there. You got a vehicle you need wrapped. We do all that. You're not just a mask guy or a sneeze guard guy. No, we do it all. Let me know, let me offer and show you what we can do. So even though that part of their spend closed, they had a different spend that opened up to us and allowed us to get into a lot of different avenues with them.
And that's so key right there because, and I think we did touch on that the other day, but when you have multiple products, right, and you never know what that product's going to be that fits that customer, but all you need is the first one because you want to be from the outside, just some guy that stopped by and tossed a pack of donuts on the counter, nobody wants to talk to you, you need to become important to them in some way. You need to become part of their outside team, if you will, that helps them build business. It just needs one product, right? Which is what you just demonstrated. And I love that because then the next product, pretty soon I'm going to call Brian's company because they took care of us on masks, like you said, or PPE or the shields.
Mm-hmm.
They took us care. Next thing you know, the trust level's already built. I guess is my point, right? You don't have to start from. You're not starting from. Maybe they've never bought the retractable banners from you ever. But that you don't have to decide with them that we even make sense, right? You don't have to go that route because they already know, well, if they do this other stuff good for us, yeah, they'll probably take pretty good care of us on this too, right?
Absolutely. That was something that, for us, we try never to focus on the dollar amount of the sale. We always try to focus on the experience of the sale. If this person wants a $200 pen order, make sure it's the best $200 pen order they had, because that might lead into, maybe not even within their organization, but they had such a great customer experience. They told their friend down the road about United Image Group, and they talked about the experience they had with Russ or Jason or anyone on anyone on our team. They had that experience, and it was such that they wanted to let someone else know about it. And it was from a $200 pen order, you're doing 20 vehicle wraps. Yep. And that was something that I'm always trying to focus on. And sometimes you look at the orders and the dollar amount, and the sales people can get a little hung up on, I'm only going to get this much commission from it. No, what you're going to get is an opportunity to sell more. Right. Remember, it's an opportunity. You do the right things, you treat people the right way, the sales will follow. You just got to do the right things and do it over and over and over again.
Oh, that's a great point, because I love that concept, because a lot of guys in my world, the world you came from, I don't want to go do this guy's show. It's 700 miles, and he only buys 25 grand a year, and it's just not worth the hassle. It's on a Friday. I'd rather go home. But you got to put all that aside, right? Because if this guy's giving me all he can give me, he's a customer friend. We're going to develop this relationship. Like you said, that 25 grand deal might be 250 grand in 5 years, right? And you may get all of that, or you're going to certainly get more of it than if you just blew him off and let somebody else be the guy there on Friday afternoon, right? That's one thing I always look at when I find myself going, I hate the idea that I've got to do this. I'd rather switch that around to I get to do this, right? Because I get to be there on a Friday afternoon doing this show because I'm your guy, as opposed to my competitor getting to do the show because I decided I wanted to go home, right? There's a big difference in mindset.
Absolutely. There's another thing that I always like to add in there, and it was from a mentor, Carl Kimball and Pam Hegland at Mill Steel. What they always remind us is, remember that individual you're dealing with could also go work for someone else. So make sure that they, how many times have you seen a buyer, Randy, over your career that, maybe they only had a $25,000 spend with this customer, but they got an opportunity 5 years down the road, and now they're working for a company that's got a $200 million spend.
Right, exactly.
You want to make sure that they had a great experience with you, because when they go, Randy, you're still their guy. Brian, you're still their guy. Exactly. And they're like, I got a guy that can help me out with that. And now their budget has done this, and they've got this to do. So having that experience being so great, never assume that they're going to always be in that position. Whoever you're dealing with, they might be in a spot that gives them more opportunity to do more with you, and just try to make sure that you're giving a great opportunity to all of them, and you're giving the same level of respect and detail to all of them, because every single one of those could lead into an opportunity for additional sales or a future lead.
Right, exactly. And a key point right there that I like is, at the end of the day, you want to be their guy or their girl, right? Their lady, their man, whatever term you want to use, but you want to be their person, right? That's the key. All the rest of the sales will come, whatever it is, because the one thing that you found during that COVID thing, and I find in what I do is if I just want to be the guy you call, even if I can't help you. I want to be that first call, right? I want to call Brian. That's what I'm going to call. I don't know if he has this or not, but I'm going to call Brian first to see. And I'm going to take a wild guess that if it's not something you do, you'll either figure out a way, or you'll find them somebody or help them find somebody that can do it. I'm going to guess that without even asking. But
yep, you're spot on. Absolutely. Hey, I've got this problem. You know what? It's a new one for me, but we're going to work on it together. I've got a couple calls I can make. But, Randy, as you build your network and you build your connections, and it takes years and years and years to do it, but now you start truly adding that value. I mean, there's a lot of customers that I had from the metal roofing industry, and even prior to that, being in the steel and the operations industry, that, I was a go-to for them. And they reach out still to this day. And, we're doing stuff down in Alabama. We're doing stuff in Tennessee. We're doing stuff with these relationships that we built. And I was a go-to, and I'm still a go-to. And it's like, hey, I got this. Can you do it? And it's like, hey, you know what? That's what our industry, that's what our company does now. Or if not, I got a guy that can do it for you, or a gal that can do it for you.
I like that. That's a little motto. Be the guy or get the guy, right?
Yep, absolutely.
One or the other. But even if you get him, you're still the guy, because all they know is I called Brian and I couldn't buy it from him, but man, he put us in touch with this guy that does a great job, right? And you're still a winner in that. So
absolutely.
Awesome. Yeah. So well, great. So what haven't we touched on today I should have asked. Wes always reminds me to should ask questions because I forget. What's a should ask question that I did not ask Brian Vella today?
Yeah.
Or was I just perfect and asked everything we wanted? Because you can
You
just
know,
say I'm perfect.
Randy,
Perfect
you
is
are
fine.
perfect. I've been
There you go.
watching your shows. I've been watching you drop them on LinkedIn. You've continued to get better and better and better. I was talking about you this morning with the stock, your sock choices going for the conventions. I mean, you've definitely honed in on something here, and I really enjoy it. So I thought it was a lot of great questions. We covered out a lot of items that you and I talked about previously about that customer experience from the start to the finish. You know, it's just as important from the email response to them to the one that follow up that a lot of people don't do is, hey, how was that order? You know, you assume no news is good news, but that's an assumption. Sometimes it wasn't great. And so that follow up, like, hey, just want to touch in. How was that order? I saw it delivered 2 or 3 days ago. Maybe you picked it up. What was your thoughts on it? Sometimes you get some real news. Hey, I wasn't really happy with it. Well, you know what I can do for you on the next order? Maybe I can offer you a discount. You know, I can put a credit on your account for 10% or something along those lines to be able to help for that offset. So if there's ever, I don't think we put enough. We're so focused on the sale. That follow-up, that to close the loop. Hey, how was that order and how was your experience? It's always always important to do.
Well, it is because, you know, an old theory that we've all heard, but no sale is complete until it's paid for and they order again, right?
Yes,
and
sir.
again and again. Otherwise, it's an order. It's not a relationship. It's not long-term business. It's just an order. And I always say is, I'm not looking for just the order. I'm looking for long-term commitment, long-term business together. Now, I have to have that first order to prove that I ought to earn the second order. But with that said, let's just make sure it went well, right? And delivering, and maybe the last point, because it just popped in my head, is that follow-up and the delivering news. But, and I know you agree with me, and you don't have to, but I know you will. Delivering timely, accurate, truthful news, even if it sucks.
Oh, yeah.
Even if it's awful, even if it's like, you know what, Brian, I couldn't have screwed this up anymore. We absolutely forgot to enter the order, and then we made it, and we shipped it to the wrong person 12 states away, and we're closing until Thursday, and we're not going to get it to you. That pretty well sucks, right? But it's better than you sitting there wondering, when my truck going to show up with my stuff, right? This is what we did. We messed up. We're sorry, and here's what we're going to do to fix it, right?
I couldn't agree more. I mean, be truthful, no matter what the news is. Give them the right news, because a lot of times that individual is just reporting to someone else and giving them the news. So make sure you're giving them accurate news so that they can look, you know, honest and accurate to the individual that they're talking to or informing what's going on. Hey, we do a lot of sign installs. A lot of times that construction can't be done until our sign is connected and they can't put that finishing touch to the wall. Well, if we tell them it's going to be done on Tuesday and it's really not going to be done on Thursday, and we know Thursday, they plan something for Wednesday. Maybe the drywall person's coming in.
Right.
Tell them it's going to be Thursday. You know, tell them, hey, it'll be Thursday and there's potential it can be Friday. Just let them plan for it. That's what they want to know. At least they can plan and structure around there, because maybe they built a little buffer in already for you. But if you told them Tuesday and you know it's going to be Thursday, you're setting yourself up for failure. So deliver the news no matter how good or bad it may be.
Exactly. And as quick as you know it, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, it just, you know, because it's human nature to not want to deliver that bad news, right? But guess what? If that truck is not going to ship to you till Thursday, and I told you it was Monday, nothing's going to change the fact that sooner or later you're going to find out the truck didn't ship.
Absolutely.
So the sooner I get rid of it, two things: it makes your life better because you can react, do what you need to do, and I'm not carrying that with me for the next 3 days, worrying about how mad Brian's going to be.
Absolutely.
If you're going to be mad, you're going to be mad, but we get through that, right? And we move on, right? So, well, awesome. Well, Brian, I appreciate the conversation very much. I love what you're doing, and I miss seeing you out and about at the trade shows in the industry. But you know something? I learned today, just talking about, I'm big on networking, love networking, right? Just this chat today, I found out something that I was sending you an email on, because I didn't know you did. I assume you do. You do retractable banners, right?
Oh, yeah.
Trade shows.
Yeah.
I need some, so I'll be reaching out.
Thanks, Randy. I appreciate it.
Look at that. Look at that. I need the 0.25% discount for being on the show. You know,
you got it. I'll take care of you.
Give me a buck off or something, will you?
You got it, my friend. I'll take care of you.
All right. Well, Brian, anything else, my friend, or I'm going to let you go.
Hey, I appreciate the opportunity. It's always great talking to you. Great seeing you again, my friend. Keep up the great work out there.
You too, my friend. Appreciate it. Cheers, buddy. All right. There was my friend from a long, long time ago, and he's just a machine at what he does. And I hope you enjoyed that. Military vet. I can't say that enough. I appreciate that again, Brian. And I hope you learned something from that. So what are we going to do next week? What are we going to do next week? We got a very special guest. There he is. Wes, you're magic. You're on mute too, but
I'm
you're
also
magic.
on mute. Yeah.
That's my producer director who's on mute, but that's that little button
Yeah.
that says mute. I'm just throwing that out.
You'd think you'd hire somebody better, right?
I'm here. Hold on a second. Directors, see, but
You have to ask
yeah,
Brian if he has people that do this.
yeah, I may have to. How you doing, brother? Good.
I'm doing great.
Awesome. Good job behind the scenes again on another show. My man Brian is the real deal, eh?
He is the real deal, and I've always wanted to have a wrapped vehicle, so one of these days I may have to look him up.
WesWyatt.com. Eureka on the hood.
Could you imagine my face on a great big SUV?
Yeah, we'd have to go full size SUV to get that model in there.
That's great. I'm gonna let you go back. I'm gonna duck back in behind the scenes.
All right, so thank you, buddy. So next week, Wes and I are going to jump on, and we are going to chat about the year and talk a little bit about Thanksgiving time's coming up by the time you see this, and so we're going to chat about what we're thankful for and what's coming up for next year, and so it's always interesting when Wes and I get together. So, anyways, see you next week as we go build some more wins, and until then, remember, live it, love it, and own it. And love what you do what you love, because that's what I do every day, and you need to do it. It's important. And make today, you know what this word is, make it your best day ever. Till tomorrow. Cheers, my friends.